Is live in Chopper 6 over Ocean County with the full story. John?
Well, Lisa, the sky over Ocean County is certainly murky and smoky as there are a number of fires here in central Jersey. By our count up here in Chopper 6, there are 3 major fires burning right now and numerous minor wildfires throughout the region. The largest by far is an 800-acre fire which is on the grounds of the Lakehurst Naval Air Station. Now, it's about a mile, by our figuring, about a mile off the main runway and where many of the major hangars are located. And the last word we had from aviation radio here is that the Lakehurst runway is closed at this point. That fire is considered out of control from last we heard. There are ground units battling that blaze as well as water bombers. Now, those are special aviation aircraft that have tanks of water which can drop water on the fire. Now, the most dangerous fire is the videotape you're looking at right now. It is in the Dover Township. That's about 5 miles inland from Ocean Gate. That's north of Barnegat Light. Their firefighters are working feverishly on pockets of raging flames that are threatening some homes in that area. Flames appear to be as close as about 100 to 200 feet from the back doors of several houses there. We understand there has been an evacuation of some residencies along Fisher Boulevard in Dover Township. Quite not a large fire, not in comparison to that going on at the Lakehurst Naval Air Station, but a very fierce fire of which both ground crews and water bombers are being used on those pockets of flame. Now, in either case, no one knows what caused those fires, but there is a ban on campfires in New Jersey, and we spoke earlier with fire state official Joseph Hughes, who explained why the conditions are in existence now.
There's been no appreciable rainfall in the last 2 weeks. We haven't had any rainfall since about April 21st, and that, coupled with the warm, dry conditions that we've had the last couple days, have aggravated the forest fire danger. Today, we're running temperatures in the 80s. We have relative humidity down around 20%, and we've had very strong winds out of the southwest running between 20 to 25 miles an hour all day. And these things combined with the time of year are the reason why we're having the problems that we are.
So that's the situation right now. It's been dry, it has not rained, the temperatures and the winds are just right, and there does seem to be quite a few forest fires and brush fires burning out of control in Ocean County, New Jersey. I'm John Rawlins, live on the Action Cam in Chopper 6.
Thanks, John. We'll bring you the latest on that as, of course, it develops. Well, cable TV has finally come to Philadelphia, almost. Mayor Good climbed aboard a cherry picker today as actual construction began in the Torresdale section of the city. Comcast, the company with the Northeast Philadelphia franchise, says it will be delivering cable pictures to homes in this area by late summer. Now, the rest of the city is not quite so far along. The northwest section of the city may see construction in a month or so, but the franchises for Area 2, that's West Philadelphia, and Area 1, which is South Philly and Center City, still don't have their finances completed, so stay tuned.
There's more controversy tonight surrounding Philadelphia Municipal Court. Last Friday, you may remember, Judge Joseph Glancy resigned as president judge. A day earlier, he took the Fifth Amendment on a financial disclosure form that asked about gifts received last year. It's part of a probe in which 15 judges are suspected of accepting money from Roofers Union 3030B. But Glancy told Action News reporter Karen Friedman today he has done nothing wrong, and his resignation, he says, is only temporary. An election to fill Glancy's post as president judge is set for this coming Friday, and this is the man who wants his job. He's upset, though, about this latest turn of events. Municipal Court Senior Judge Michael Conroy, this is the man here. Conroy would welcome the position permanently, but would not act as fill-in president judge.
Well, the investigation continues tonight into Saturday night's explosion that killed 1 Philadelphia firefighter and injured 3 others. The Philadelphia Gas Works now says a gas-powered boiler was the cause of the blast that ripped through engine 34, the firehouse there. But Fire Commissioner William Richmond says today it's still too early to be sure the boiler was to blame. Fire officials gathered at the firehouse today to continue their investigation. 37-year-old Edward Friel was killed in the explosion. 2 of the injured firefighters are in stable condition tonight. A 3rd was treated and released over the weekend.
In Action News around the world, at least 9 people have been killed in Portugal after a train crashed in a Lisbon suburb. Officials say a passenger train barreled into a station and slammed into a commuter train waiting on the same track. More than 80 people have been hurt, many of them children. An earthquake shook southeastern Turkey today, killing 15 people, injuring 100 others. The quake also damaged a dam, forcing hundreds nearby to evacuate. The quake measured 5.8 on the Richter scale and was centered about 600 miles east of Istanbul. Another earthquake has hit central Mexico, the second quake in 5 days. It was centered in the Pacific Ocean and measured 5.4 on the Richter scale. No damage or injuries were reported, however. At the Western Economic Summit in Tokyo, President Reagan and other leaders sharply criticized the Soviet Union for not releasing full information on the Chernobyl nuclear accident last week. Information on that accident, Western leaders also issued a statement calling Libya a terrorist state and saying they would wage a common fight to punish countries that support terrorism to the full extent international law allows.
And Lisa, on the subject of terrorism, I brought back some videotape from Israel after last week's series of reports from there on a nation which lives under terrorism. This is the city of Bethlehem. Until 1967, it was a part of Jordan. Now, like the rest of the West Bank, it's under Israeli control. Virtually everyone who lives here is Arabic, but a large percentage of the Arabs in this city are Christian. For this tiny community is the very heart and soul of the Christian world. Perhaps the most impressive scene in all of Bethlehem is here behind me, the hills of Judea, where the Gospels say the shepherds were watching their flocks, and an angel came to tell them that not far away, in a manger, under what is now the Church of the Nativity, Christ was born. Until 3 years ago, this church was always crowded with tourists, especially during the Christmas season. Now, with the fear of terrorism, Bethlehem has a 15% unemployment rate as the tourists are staying away in droves. It is a moving experience to see the faithful kneel to kiss the spot where Jesus was born. This church dates back to the year 326. It was built by Queen Helena of Greece and is considered one of the oldest known shrines in the Christian world. The mayor of Bethlehem is a Palestinian Arab of Greek Orthodox faith. Elias Frage is considered a moderate, and he believes the Arabs and Israelis must live in peace.
The Arabs and the Israelis are destined by God to live in the Holy Land. And so both people have the right to live in peace and security.
Frage says that what happens here in Bethlehem and the rest of the West Bank is of no concern to outsiders like Muammar Gaddafi. He feels that he and other Arab leaders must deal directly with Israel.
They will remain our neighbors. We will remain their neighbors. And so as neighbors, I think it's our mutual interest to find a way how we can coexist in peace.
And you have faith that it will happen?
Yes, indeed, I do.
Rather optimistic note from one of the more moderate voices in the Middle East, Lisa.
A terrific job, by the way, as usual. Still to come on the early edition of Action News, some Bridesburg residents say this water treatment plant stinks, and they've gone to court to try to clear the air.
And a couple of New Jersey students stumble on a 4-million-year-old find during their work in a class project. Scott Palmer says that one of the new Philly pitchers is testing his injured arm. Dave Roberts has warm words from AccuWeather when Action News comes right back.
Priceless Kitchens. No one gives you a better deal. Want to remodel? Tell us the size of your kitchen. We'll draw you a free kitchen plan with the cabinets of your choice. Woods, laminates, hundreds to choose from. All in walk-around sets. All at unbeatable prices. All available from stock. Priceless Kitchens at Whitman Plaza, near Oxford Valley Mall, Roosevelt Mall, Cherry Hill, and on McDade Boulevard.
Priceless Kitchens before. When you're ready to go, and a good time is your game. When you want the best, Atlantis is the name. It's a fabulous place, a dream come true. 3 levels of excitement, and the thrills are for you. When you hit the hot spot, it's yours for the taking. Atlantis Casino Hotel, a legend in the making. You've got to get the hot spot, Atlantis.
Atlantic mortgages make a difference with a fixed rate of 9.75%. Atlantic credit cards make a difference with a low fixed rate of 16.9% on both Visa and MasterCard. Atlantic home equity loans make a difference with a fixed rate of 10.9%. Banking at the right place can make a difference. Atlantic Financial.
Make a difference.
When it comes to thinking of new ways to crash test cars, no one goes farther than Volvo. Volvo, a car you can believe in.
The news is not so good on the baseball front today. Scott Palmer back with sports.
As we mentioned, we just found out Chris James, promising young rookie outfielder, broke a bone in his left ankle. He's out for 6 to 7 weeks, the story goes on. And as the Phillies begin a series tonight against Montreal, though, the big question mark on this team remains its pitching. The Phils are hoping that Tom Hume here will be able to step in. Hume is the reliever the Phillies got from Cincinnati, and this afternoon he pitched a simulated game at the Vet. Up to now, he's been with the Phils minor league team in Florida, coming back from arthroscopic knee surgery. I asked him if he's ready to pitch.
I feel like I can pitch. You know, that's the way I want to feel, and I feel like I've worked as hard as I could, and to go out there and do what I have to do, and just give my 100%, and whatever I do, I have to be satisfied with.
Watching Tommy Hume this afternoon along with manager John Felsky was Phillies owner Bill Giles. There has been some talk about Hume being the Phillies' 5th starter, but Giles and company have other ideas.
I talked to John Felsky this afternoon, and he's leaning toward Dave Rucker being the 5th starter.
What are the chances right now of making a trade for a pitcher, Bill?
I would say slim to none.
Everybody just wants too much?
Everybody's looking really for the same thing. The Pirates would trade Rick Rhoden for Don Carmen, but we're not going to trade Don Carmen. We like him too much.
There you have it. That's the latest. The Sixers play Game 4 tonight against Milwaukee. You know, no one in this series has won back-to-back games yet. The Sixers have a real chance to do that tonight. And if they can, they'll go up 3 games to 1 and have a pretty good lock on Milwaukee. We'll be going live to the Spectrum for an update at 6. Yesterday, the Atlanta Hawks knocked off Boston 106-94 to stay alive in their series. Playing a big role in the Hawks' win was little Spud Webb. At 5'7", he's the shortest player in the NBA. But he did not come up short against the Celtics. The Spud man had 21 points, 12 assists, and 6 rebounds. Spud said the Hawks had to win or say goodbye to their season.
We never give up, and we came out there aggressive from the start. And it just carried on through the game, and it got more up-tempo game, and that's the type of game we want to play.
5'7".
He is a remarkable player. So much fun to watch.
He really is, and it shows there is a place for the small man in this game.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. Dave Roberts standing by with the complete AccuWeather forecast. It's a good one. Don't go away.
It was one of those days. I was glad I brought my Captain Black. It smokes cool on any occasion. The aroma pleases the most finicky host. And the flavor lasts and lasts and lasts. Yes, I've introduced Captain Black to many friends. Captain Black, America's #1 pipe tobacco, for many reasons.
You can take my space to Sesame Place. Hello, everyone. You can try new things, have some fun. You can try to bounce, try to fly, or try to reach as high as the sky. You can take my face to Sesame Place.
Now take your face to the new Big Bird Theater at Sesame Place. You'll see Big Bird and your other friends, too.
Now we're reaching to the sky. You can take my face to Sesame Place.
Sesame Place, Langhorne, Pennsylvania.
Hello. I'd like to have a word about something that's very, very important. It's a nifty little idea called eating fried chicken. Not just any fried chicken, mind you. I'm talking about absolutely incredible, indescribably delicious fried chicken from Roy Rogers. And I believe that once you try Roy Rogers fried chicken, you will never eat anything else again. Especially hamburger.
It was only a matter of time. The Acura Legend, a new dimension in luxury and performance from a new division of American Honda. Experience the substance, the power of precision in a 24-valve V6 touring sedan that defines driving as the greatest luxury of all. Acura Legend, exclusively at Acura dealers.
Dave Roberts inside with the latest from AccuWeather. I'll tell you, the job to have is weatherman in Jerusalem. It never changes. I mean,
Really?
it rains in the winter and it's nice all summer.
I'm just going to ask you what the weather was like over there.
Pretty much the same all the time.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't want to go over there. I'd be out of work. That's no good. Nice to have you back, Mark. All right, let's take a look at our weather scene here in the Delaware Valley, somewhere on planet Earth. Right, Rick? There we go. There's a scene. Oh, cooling, refreshing. I love it. The high today, 81 degrees thus far, and the warm weather is still out there, so it appears as if the temperature will get even higher than that officially. The low 49 degrees at 4:30 this morning, present temperature reading our high of 81, southwesterly winds 15 miles per hour. For tonight, clear and mild. Going to be a beautiful night like it was a beautiful day. Overnight low 60 degrees. Tomorrow, Tuesday, one word says it's summer-like. A high of 85 degrees. Gusty southwesterly breezes, just going to be beautiful. On Wednesday, once again, the high will be 85 degrees. The normal high this time of year is 70 degrees, so we're good 15 degrees above normal.
You done already?
That's it. When the weather's nice, it's quick. Yes.
All right, Dave. Our greengrocer, Joe Carcione, says today that Popeye had the right idea about spinach. Get your pencil and paper ready because Joe has an offer tonight to help you to a healthier diet. Here's Joe.
I know that many of you folks are constantly looking for potassium in the food that you eat, and if you do, I want to say one thing to you. Then you should wander over into the fresh fruit and vegetable department and look for New Zealand spinach. I know it's kind of scarce, but if you ask for it, I'm sure they can get it for you. New Zealand spinach is a member of the carpetweed family. It's not even a member of the spinach family, so I don't know why they call it New Zealand spinach. But whatever they call it, let me tell you this, folks. This is a wonderful vegetable as far as potassium is concerned. As a matter of fact, New Zealand spinach contains more potassium than any other commercially grown leafy vegetable. It contains, for every 3 1/2 ounces, 795 milligrams of potassium, 4,300 units of vitamin A, and 30 milligrams of vitamin C. Of course, that's when it's raw. Now, if you cook this vegetable just like you do spinach, then you're going to lose about 40% of the potassium, 30% of the vitamin A, and 50% of the vitamin C, which is leached into the water. So for goodness sakes, do yourself a favor. If you want to get the full benefit of this wonderful vegetable, then drink the water. And incidentally, folks, I have here a list, a sheet, that contains all of the vegetables and their potassium content. If you'd like to have it, kindly send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I'll be happy to send it to you. And listen, folks, do me a favor. Mark the outside of the envelope potassium. Joe Carcione, your greengrocer, with your tip for the day.
All right, Joe, and if you'd like a copy of Joe's potassium guide, just write to the greengrocer in care of WPVI TV News, 4100 City Line Avenue, Philadelphia. The zip, of course, is 19131.
Now, Exxon brings you the power to help overcome knocks and pings, to end hesitation, to clean fouled fuel injectors. Introducing the new Exxon gasolines with exclusive detergent additive XCL12 to keep you running smooth. Move up to the new Exxon gasolines with XCL12.
I swear we've been through everything there is. Can't imagine anything the two of us can't do. Through the years, you've never let me down. And I'm so glad I've stayed right here with you through the years.
Volvo, built to get you through the years.
Visit your local Philadelphia area Volvo dealers for a test drive.
Did I hear someone say they haven't shopped Bradley's this week? Just look what you're missing. Big savings on the Clairol 1500-watt hairdryer with 6 temperature settings and 2 air speeds. Just $9.99 after rebate. And a $20 saving on the GE Compact Countertop Microwave Oven. On sale for just $129.99. With my low prices, of course everyone's shopping Bradley's this week.
So far, over 500,000 businesses use MCI. Have they gone and stuck their necks out? Not on your life. With MCI, they call the same places coast to coast as AT&T and get credit cards just like with AT&T. Why, MCI is such an easy business decision that people are saying what they used to say about that other company. Nobody ever got fired for choosing MCI.
Call now and join more than 500,000 businesses who profit from using MCI.
The city of Philadelphia is being sued over sewage. As Hank Spurker reports, the suit filed by some Bridesburg residents say they've had it up to here with city planning.
The Northeast Water Pollution Control Plant in Bridesburg processes approximately 200 million gallons of sewage daily from Philadelphia homes, businesses, and industry. $300 million were spent during the last several years to modernize the facility. Despite the improvements, neighborhood residents still complain about odors coming from the plant and have filed suit against the city in U.S. District Court.
These same substances that produce odors
also help form smog in the atmosphere, and smog is also injurious to people's health. And many of these same chemicals also are toxic to human beings. They form different, they create different kinds of health problems, and many of them are carcinogenic.
According to studies, the Richmond-Bridesburg area has the highest incidence of cancer in the city, said to be due to industrial pollution in the area. Residents say the smell from the sewage plant is a cause of concern.
Gives you headaches, and makes you tired, makes you not want to eat, and makes you just not want to do anything.
Are you able to play with other children around there?
No,
Why?
because the air smells. And you have to go in.
Denise Collier, an attorney from the city solicitor's office, says the more than 160 air quality violations from the treatment plant during the past 2 years is a thing of the past.
We have eliminated the odors to the best of our ability, given the scientific and the technical equipment available to us.
What's it like around here today? Well, there is a breeze and it's stirring up the air, but there is an odor. For some, it may be slight, for others, quite strong. However, the city says it has done about all it can, and it will not be able to eliminate all of the odors around here. Hank Berger, Channel 6 Action News at the Northeast Water Pollution Control Plant.
And on Wall Street today, a rebound from last week's disaster. I left you for a week and the bottom fell out. The Dow Jones Industrial Average recovered 19 points of the more than 60 points it lost last week. All the indicators gained today, all of them, with transportation's up nearly 6 points. Volume, however, quite low today. Only 102 million shares traded on the New York Stock Exchange, where the price of an average share went up 45 cents.
It was 25 years ago today that America's young space program launched its first manned space flight. However, as Harry Martin reports, the program that got a big boost from Alan Shepard's history-making flight faces serious questions today.
Alan Shepard's 15-minute, 28-second ride came just 3 weeks after the Russians put a man in orbit. It was a time when the young American space program had been plagued with failures, but Shepard's flight was proof that American technology could succeed. The flight of Freedom 7 was enough for President John Kennedy to make an unprecedented challenge.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
And indeed, American technology met the challenge, but not without paying the price of American lives in the Apollo 1 disaster in 1967. NASA's record of never losing a life during a mission was unblemished until the January 28th shuttle disaster. And then, less than 3 months later, a Titan rocket carrying a spy satellite blew up just after launch. Last Saturday, a tried-and-true Delta rocket lost power due to a short circuit and had to be destroyed. Some are saying America's space program is in chaos. Others say it's jinxed.
No one wants to launch one today until we understand what happened. And that's a smart move. But, so it's a setback, but we're not dead in the water. We're just stopped for the moment.
Over the next 50 years in space, the National Commission on Space is calling for human settlements on the moon by 2017 and settlements on Mars by 2027. In the short term, space experts look to building a space station within 8 years. That, however, is contingent on the flight of the space shuttle, which depends not only on technology, but on politics. Space authorities say that it may take something as strong as a presidential challenge, similar to that of President Kennedy's a quarter century ago, to get the American space program moving at full speed again. Harry Martin, Channel 6 Action News.
And finally tonight we have a takeoff on an old expression. An idling engine is the devil's playground, or something like that. New Jersey correspondent Kathy Gandolfo will explain it all in this report.
It's not uncommon to see large trucks and buses sitting parked while their engines are left idling for hours. But beginning today in New Jersey, if the engines of most trucks, buses, and cars are left idling for more than 3 minutes, the driver is subject to a fine from $25 to $100. The law is designed to bring New Jersey closer to meeting federal air quality regulations for the levels of carbon monoxide and ozone, the key elements of smog. The state is especially anxious to crack down on guilty bus and truck drivers, even though truckers have a problem with the law. The drivers of most of these big rigs say that it's pretty hard to start diesel engines, especially in the colder weather. So once they get the engines started, they just like to leave them running.
The problem in cold weather with the fuel gelling up, and in hot weather, you know, just with your truck. The motors are more efficient when they stay warm and run.
The law does allow for 30 minutes of warm-up time in the morning, and there are several exemptions to the law. For example, tractor-trailers with sleeping berths that rely on air conditioning or heat are excluded. It's also not necessary for motorists waiting in heavy traffic or at fast food drive-through windows to turn off their cars. Local police will be responsible for enforcing the law, but some have problems with it, especially at truck stops.
When you have a facility such as this truck stop with sometimes up to 300 trucks, I think that it would be virtually impossible to enforce this type of regulation.
New Jersey has the highest density of motor vehicles in the country, and environmental officials are just hoping that with local police help, the new law will be one more important attempt at cleaning up the air in the Garden State. I'm Kathy Gandolfo, Channel 6 Action News, East Greenwich Township, New Jersey.
And we're running a little late, so we'll hold that report on a couple of young New Jersey archaeologists until tomorrow. But right now, Jim Gardner and the Action News team standing by with these stories and more coming up on Action News at 6. Tug McGraw says high finance is child's play to these fifth graders in Malvern, PA.
And there's a happy ending to the story of a Delaware Valley woman who has spent the last few days saying...
Here, Buffy.
She's looking for a cat. She
Oh.
found her, right. Now for Dave, Robert, Scott Palmer, Mark Howard, and the entire Action News team, I'm Lisa Thomas-Laurie. Have a nice evening.
This delicious French wine, with the delightfully modest price, is Papillon, and you'll love the taste, even if you miss the movie.
Even with all you spend to keep your home beautiful, you may be overlooking something. Termites, hiding just beneath the surface, destroying your home from the inside out. Call Orkin.
You know, for about the price these people are having to pay to fix this one door frame, we can protect your whole house. After that, if termites ever damage your home, we'll repair it, whatever the cost. Call number 1. For termites, we just might be all the protection you'll ever need.
The official cruise line of Walt Disney World brings you the cruise that comes with a Walt Disney World vacation free. 3 full days include hotel, rental car, and admission to it all, with a luxury 4-night cruise to the Bahamas from Central Florida. Ask your travel agent about Premier Cruise Line's Cruise and Walt Disney World Week, the magic vacation combination.
Donahue on anti-gay violence, 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Don Tollefson, Dave Roberts, and Jim Gardner.
Monday night, it's a major emergency on the Pennsylvania Turnpike as an injured woman is flown to the hospital, and it's a day many people said would never happen, the start of cable television wiring in Philadelphia. But the big story on Action News tonight is an update in the probe into judges in Philadelphia. Today, a new order that clarifies an order handed down Friday. The full story from Action News reporter Karen Friedman.
This new order issued today temporarily relieves Judge Joseph Glancy of all duties as president of Philadelphia's municipal court. It was handed down by State Supreme Court Chief Justice Robert Nix and clarifies an order handed down on Friday. It says, quote, an acting president judge shall perform duties, and that person should, quote, serve until such time as it is certified to this court that former President Judge Glancy is able to resume the duties of that office or until the expiration of the existing term, whichever comes first. Glancy is one of 15 judges suspected of receiving cash gifts from Roofers Union Local 30-30B last year. In this letter to Chief Justice Nix, he gave up his duties Friday after refusing to disclose if he had accepted gifts of over $200 in 1985. But today, he told me he has never broken the law.
Yes.
Are you guilty of any wrongdoing?
Absolutely not.
You didn't accept any bribes?
Oh, I'd rather not. No, bribes, no. Never. Never.
Payoffs?
No, never.
Because of Glancy's temporary departure, over the weekend, Senior Municipal Court Judge Michael Conroy said he would like to fill the empty post. He was expected to win easily in this Friday's election among the 22 municipal court judges. But that was before today's order stated the job was only temporary.
I will not, under any circumstances following this order, be a candidate for an acting president judge of the Municipal Court of Philadelphia County.
Under this order, Judge Conroy says he has no interest in being a temporary president who's not permitted to make permanent decisions. He also says, to his knowledge, no other judge is planning to run in Friday's election. If that's the case, he says the state Supreme Court will simply have to appoint a judge to fill a temporary position. I'm Karen Friedman, Channel 6 Action News, Center City.
Arrest warrants have been issued tonight for a husband and wife in Philadelphia charged with stealing over $265,000 from the city, money that was supposed to be used for severely handicapped children. This house used to be the Pam Lynn Village at 6411 Wayne Avenue in Germantown. That's where John Price Jr. and his wife Thomasina used to run a home for 33 retarded youngsters. But District Attorney Ron Castile announced today that the Prices allegedly diverted city funds for their own personal use and business ventures in the state of Virginia. Castile says that between September of 1979 and July of '83, the children were sitting in squalor while the Prices spent money elsewhere.
They left these children in the state they did to compromise the bare necessities for seriously retarded and handicapped children who are barely able to walk, talk, or eat. Simply boggles the imagination. This is the worst kind of crime that I can imagine.
According to the DA's office, the Prices live on Emlyn Street. Authorities have initiated arrest procedures. The sentence tonight is 20 to 40 years for 21-year-old Peter Rufo of Fairmount in Philadelphia. Rufo had pleaded guilty to charges of kidnapping, aggravated and indecent assault, and burglary. Rufo admitted to the kidnapping of a 2-year-old girl from her home on the 2600 block of Brown Street last August. The little girl was found in an alley a few blocks away from her home. She had been slashed with a broken beer bottle and sexually assaulted. Another 7 defendants today pleaded guilty to lesser charges in the beating death of a rap musician in Wilmington, Delaware. 19-year-old Michael Brown was fatally beaten last September 30th. 10 of the suspects have already pleaded guilty. Today, 7 more, and 1 case was continued. A major cocaine bust along Route 40 in Carneys Point, Salem County, New Jersey. State police seized almost 50 pounds of cocaine from a car with Florida tags. Tonight, a 33-year-old man from Plantation, Florida, is in the Salem County Jail in lieu of $1 million bail. A nasty traffic accident this morning on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. 25-year-old Toya Alexandria Ellis of Norristown was badly injured when her car crashed into the median divider. Police say her brakes locked, causing her car to lose control when she was hit from behind by a truck. This happened 3 miles east of the Willow Grove interchange. Police worked hard to remove her from the car, then loaded her onto a special medevac helicopter for Lehigh Valley Medical Center in Allentown. Hospital officials say Ellis is in satisfactory condition tonight. Traffic was halted on the turnpike this morning to allow the chopper to land. A rough morning all around on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Officials in Philadelphia have blamed an electric heater for that tragic fire last night in North Philadelphia. It took firemen only 18 minutes to put out the blaze on North Marston, but the fire claimed 2 victims. Both were disabled. 50-year-old Charlie Williams, a woman who had arthritis and needed a walker. Her brother, 66-year-old Frank Bradley. He was legally blind. Officials say there was a smoke detector in the house, but that it wasn't placed in an effective location. Tragedy on North Marston in North Philadelphia. This the scene Saturday night after an explosion at a North Philadelphia firehouse killed 1 fireman and sent 2 others to the hospital. PGW says the blast was sparked by a hot water boiler at the firehouse, and this afternoon, fire officials confirmed that Company 34 reported a faulty heating system to the gas company more than a week before the explosion. Today, Action News took these pictures through the window of the firehouse at 28th and Thompson, where officials were conducting their investigation. Killed in the blast was firefighter Edward Friel, age 37. 40-year-old fireman Dennis Doherty is being treated for severe burns at Crozier Chester, and Fire Commissioner William Richmond was at Hunneman Hospital today, where he visited 51-year-old Captain John Harris, who suffered a fractured right arm and a dislocated left shoulder. The rebuilding continues tonight at a South Jersey swim club, which barely escaped tragedy in a roof collapse last March. New Jersey correspondent Kathy Gandolfo reports the club opened a new chapter today.
This was the scene a little over 6 weeks ago after the roof collapsed on the Jersey Wahoo Swim Club in Mount Laurel. This was the scene today. The debris is gone, and even though workmen were putting finishing touches on some areas outside the pool, club members were back in the water. There are 550 members, and most are young, competitive, or former competitive swimmers.
How does it feel to be back in your home territory?
Excellent. Since the roof collapsed, Jersey Wahoo's directors have rented space at other area pools so the young swimmers could continue their daily regimen. Sean Killian is a serious athlete. He has won a swimming scholarship to the University of California at Berkeley, and he swims 4 or 5 hours a day. He says he's glad to be back in this pool.
You put a lot of time in here, do a lot of practices, I guess you just become attached to it.
It has cost the Jersey Wahoos about $50,000 to get this heated pool reopened. John Yakovell, club president, had hoped to open 4 days ago, but the green light from the township building inspector didn't come until today.
We wanted to make sure that everything was 100% safe, so some of the old wiring had to be repaired and replaced, and we took care of that over the weekend, and now we're satisfied.
The swimmers will continue to use this pool as an outdoor facility through the nice months of the summer, and then in August, work will begin to again construct a roof. I'm Kathy Gandolfo, Channel 6 Action News, Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
And still to come on Action News tonight, Tug McGraw tells the story of some future financial geniuses in Malvern, Pennsylvania. And the Sixers prepare for another classic confrontation with the Bucks tonight at the Spectrum. Don Tollefson is a playoff preview. Dave Roberts, the week ahead from AccuWeather, when Action News continues.
If you were your car and you needed a new muffler, you wouldn't go just anywhere. You'd go to Speedy. Speedy gives you a free estimate, expert work, and the Speedy guarantee. Try finding a better deal. For a great price, get yourself over to Speedy.
Right now, Speedy saves you 25% on all mufflers. That's right, you get 25% off all mufflers. Now, at Speedy Muffler King.
A hungry banker can help you handle almost any banking challenge, even this one. Now, horse financing isn't something all Mid-Atlantic customers are likely to need, but whatever your personal banking problems, a hungry banker will take them in stride. Finding creative ways to help you with a mortgage, trust account, stock sales, even a car loan. Nothing personal. That's a challenge Mid-Atlantic is always hungry for. She's hungry enough to work at the bank.
In the middle of your FM dial, this is Kiss 100. Listen to Philadelphia's love song station, Kiss 100.
New, intriguing, uninhibited, effusive, enduring. Chanel No. 5 introduces Eau de Parfum.
Brush fires have been ravaging hundreds of acres of land in Ocean County, New Jersey this afternoon. Let's go live now to Action News reporter John Rollins, high above the fire scene in Chopper 6. John, what's the latest?
Well, Jim, we're 3,500 feet above the Lakehurst Naval Air Station, and the smell of wood smoke is very, very strong. And if we can pan out the window, we'll give you some idea of why it is so strong. What you're looking at is one of 3 major fires burning here in Ocean County. About 800 acres are involved here on the Lakehurst Naval Air Station grounds. It's the fire, the main fire, the hot spot seemed to be a mile off the main runway. That's runway 33, and it is so heavy it has obscured vision there, so that runway, we understand, is closed. The fire is, as last we heard, officially out of control. Ground units are battling the blaze, as well as water bombers. Now, we'll also show you some videotape here in a few moments of another fire that's burning about 15 miles away. It seems to be the most dangerous fire. As you can see, there are hot spots there in Dover Township that are very, very close to inhabited areas. We understand that there is an evacuation, or at least a partial evacuation, of the Caddis Island subdivision. That is where those fires are burning right now, on the fringe of that subdivision. In some cases, the fire is up to the back door of some of the houses, maybe not 100 to 200 feet away from that back door, and burning out of control at this point. We do not have any reports of any injuries at either of the fires. However, as we say, the Dover Township fire, there have been evacuations, and firefighters are working feverishly. The stiff breeze, the warm weather, the dry conditions that we've had the last few days are conspiring in a way to make these fires very prevalent throughout central Jersey, particularly here in Ocean County. I'm John Rawlins, live on the Action Cam in Chopper 6.
Thank you, John. Believe it or not, work has begun to wire the city of Philadelphia for cable television. Mayor Wilson Goode got into a cherry picker to ceremonially kick off the wiring process for Comcast cable today. Comcast thus becomes the first of 4 companies with contracts with the city to begin the physical process of getting cable into Philadelphia homes. Comcast has the contract for Area 4, and word is that some homes in the Northeast could have cable by the end of the summer. Work should begin in Area 3 next month, Areas 2 and 1 in late summer or early fall. Mayor Goode was clearly upbeat about today's cable TV milestone.
Indeed, overcome those problems. A lot has been said about differences between city council and the executive branch of government. But we agree on far many things than we disagree on. And I believe this is one example of how those 2 branches coming together has in fact produced for this city a very worthwhile project.
And so after about 25 years since they have been talking about cable TV for Philadelphia, the actual process to bring cable TV to Philadelphia has now begun. Pennsylvania's in the green, that according to Governor Dick Thornburg. At a Harrisburg news conference today, Thornburg said increased tax collections have swelled the state budget surplus to $229 million. That is well above the $150 million Thornburg projected in the month of February. And so Thornburg's proposing a $173 million bonus budget to spend some of the money on various programs. $30 million would go to school districts for local tax relief, $48 million for basic education subsidies, nearly $24 million would be earmarked for higher education, and $18 million for tax relief for businesses, and $53 million for human services grants. It was made official today. The city of Cleveland will be the new home of the Rock and Roll Museum. As we reported last week, Philadelphia and a half-dozen other cities across the country lost out in their bids to host the museum. It was last February that Philadelphia welcomed a delegation from the selection committee. They were treated to a huge rally in Center City and shown possible sites for the museum. But the place where American Bandstand was born didn't win the hearts of the selection panel. The $20 million museum will be built in Cleveland, the town where DJ Alan Freed first coined the phrase rock and roll.
You think you've got troubles with rust? Forsooth. Rusted through 3 of these expensive suits before I found Nutra-Rust. Nutra-Rust conquers rust. Doesn't just try to cover it up like other stuff. Nay, brush on Nutra-Rust. It chemically changes rust into something else, a hard black paintable surface. That rust is gone for good. Use it on your car, around the house, on your armor. Nutra-Rust conquers rust. Anywhere. Guaranteed by those wizards at New York Bronze.
Welcome to a kingdom where everybody's treated like a king. Trump's Castle, the crown jewel of Atlantic City.
It's a corner of America with cozy harbor towns. It's salty air, wicker chairs, and a surf that pounds. The spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America. The spirit of the red, white, and blue. The spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America. The spirit that we want to share with you.
For your free Massachusetts vacation kit, call 1-800-624-MASS.
Back when we made our very first ballpark frank.
Are we close?
No. We didn't set out to make a hot dog that plumped, just a better hot dog.
Are we close?
No. We knew that if we left out sugar...
No.
And we added more lean, fresh meat...
No.
It would be better. No. But then we discovered something quite surprising.
It's getting bigger. Why is it getting bigger? It's, showing off.
Ballpark Franks. They plump when you cook them.
I'm sure the Sixers feel they can take control of the series if they can win tonight.
Yeah, and the fans might play a pivotal role because the joint was jumping on Saturday, Jim. Game 3 is 2 days old, but that finish was so electrifying with the fans involved fully. The Sixers have got to believe they have some major momentum right now. But as Gary Papa well knows, even with momentum, it's going to be a tough task against those scratching and clawing Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Gary?
Indeed it will, Don. Talking about the fans, we just received word from the Sixers front office. They are very close to a sellout. So the place was jumping on Saturday. It's going to be jumping again tonight, of course, in game number 4. Sixers had a workout today knowing that just that. If they win tonight, they'll have a stranglehold on this series with Milwaukee.
The Sixers' practice was very relaxed today, with Charles Barkley wearing a Milwaukee Brewers baseball cap, although it's on backwards. Everybody's confident.
You're playing at home, you should feel confident. We've been playing well. We haven't played as well as we would like to, but we know it's going to come sooner or later, and we just hoping all come together tonight. There's no reason to be nervous. The game's going to come whether you're ready or not.
You virtually assure yourself, a lock on the series if you go up 3-1. And every year I can remember except for one.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we got to come out and go for it. They're coming out with their best punch tonight, and don't be surprised with anything you see.
But Julius will not be happy to see this sight. Milwaukee guard Sidney Moncrief taking an afternoon stroll through Center City. Now, Moncrief sat out Game 3 on Saturday, but he says there is now a 60% chance that his injured foot will allow him to play tonight. How's the foot, seriously?
It's feeling better. I think it has probably made 90% improvement over yesterday. The question is, will I play tonight? We still don't know. We're going to wait until before game time to see how I feel.
Here is Sid playing in game number 2 last Thursday. Of course, he sat out game number 3. Right now, the Bucks are working out behind me, and what has happened is Sidney just walked off the court. He just told me it's 75%. It's going up every hour. I got a feeling that Sidney Moncrief will be in that lineup tonight for the Bucks in game number 4. Gary Papa reporting live at the Spectrum with the Bucks and the Sixers.
Thanks, Gary. Now, the Sixers might be in Milwaukee this Sunday. They might be in Boston, but they'll definitely have some sort of representative in New York. See, the Sixers, with a pick earned in a trade with the Clippers, are one of the 7 teams in that NBA lottery for the top college pick. And when the draft itself is held, there will be a number of underclassmen, including today's latest hardship case, Walter Berry of St. John's. Yes, he is coming out early. Calgary came out early last night against St. Louis, and they also came out late. They did a real number on the St. Louis Blues from beginning to end. The Blues had taken Game 1 Friday night, but it was not about to happen in Game 2. The Flames rolled 8-2, played like they did against Edmonton. That best-of-7 now tied 1 game apiece. The Phillies host Montreal tonight at the Vet, and this will be a critical test for Charles Hudson. The once highly touted right-hander is reaching a crossroads for the '86 season. He really needs a big effort tonight. As the Phils look for pitching help, they might turn to Tom Hume. He is getting healthy at the same time outfielder Chris James goes on the disabled list with a broken bone in his ankle. That's the bad news. The good news is Hume talking about coming back.
Yeah, I think, I was out there throwing just now. I just kind of tried to overthrow a little bit instead of just trying to, when I was warming up, everything was right there, and then I got out there and I get a hitter. You try to get you get a little bit more adrenaline, but it's different when you're doing this and in the game. I feel good. I can't say that I feel good. I can't explain how I feel.
They could really use a healthy Tom Hume, but that injury situation, Chris James sliding on Saturday, breaks a bone in his ankle. It really is brutal.
All right, Tom.
Okay.
A happy ending tonight, however, for a Northeast Philadelphia woman and her pet cat. As we told you last night, Sylvia Warshar literally tore up her apartment and a neighbor's apartment searching for her cat, Buffy.
Buffy! Here, Buffy!
The cat crawled inside the wall through a space behind the bathroom tub on Thursday and wasn't seen since. Until early this morning, that is, Buffy was found in the wall of the apartment downstairs and was rescued about 1:30 in the morning. The cat is reported to have survived the ordeal all right and is back safe with its owner tonight.
In 18th century America, life was different. It still is. Come back in time to colonial Williamsburg. Come, taste the different foods, hear the different sounds, smell the different smells, meet the different people. For a vacation that's totally different, come to colonial Williamsburg, where 18th century America lives.
HFC Check Credit. It's like having a banker in your pocket. It lets you give yourself a loan whenever you need one. Just write a check, you've got a loan. Anytime, for anything. HFC Check Credit works like a credit card, only harder. It lets you borrow more at lower interest rates than most credit cards. See us about HFC Check Credit and see how simple it is to give yourself a loan. HFC Check Credit. It's like having a banker in your pocket.
Sterling Silver, now at 33 to 50% off. 33 to 50% off every famous name, every pattern and place setting, and sensational savings on open stock. Now, every name in Sterling Silver is dramatically reduced, like Chris Wallace International Service for 8, regularly $1,496, now just $792, or 10% down and $42 per month when you use our club plan to purchase Sterling now during our Sterling Silver sale at Bamberger's.
It's A Midsummer Night's Dream from Dave Roberts in AccuWeather. David?
We go from one season quickly to another. Springtime into summertime today. Take a look at these temperatures. We'll show you how warm it got today throughout various parts of this area. Philadelphia, 82 degrees. Center City up to 84. The Northeast, 84 degrees also. Wilmington, Delaware, 81. And Atlantic City at the airport, 82 degrees. Of course, at the shore, right on the water, it was only 65 degrees. High pressure system off South Carolina and Georgia. Clockwise flow around that, yes, warm. That system is going to dominate for the next 2 to 3 days on into Wednesday. Storm Center up here in the north produced an inch of snow in Moosehead, Maine, one of my favorite little cities. Keep that stuff up there. The next system that will make the weather for us is a storm center coming out of North Dakota on into Minnesota with a intended cold front that goes down through the central plains states on into Oklahoma and Texas. Showers and thunderstorms along with that. Sometime on Wednesday that system moves in. We'll see a little bit of a change in that temperatures will cool off a little bit. High pressure, warm stuff stays with us. It's going to be a beauty of a night the way it was a beauty of a day. 49 degrees was the low. 82, that came at 4:45 this afternoon. There's the water temperature, 52. Southwesterly wind 6 to 12 miles per hour. Look at these numbers at 6 o'clock. 81 degrees in the northeast, 80 outside the station, 81. Center City, the airport, 79. 80 in Camden, humidity low and comfortable, 32%. The barometer is now starting to fall for tonight. Mild and clear, says it. Overnight low, 60 degrees. Some sun on both Tuesday and Wednesday. We stay on the warm side, 85 degrees on both days. 15 degrees above the normal high for this time of year, which is 70 degrees. On Thursday, the change as the frontal system comes through, 72 degrees, some sunshine, 74, 74. We stay on the seasonably warm side. Just a gorgeous night. Hope you can get outside tonight and enjoy. Jim?
And tonight on You Gotta Believe, Tug McGraw wades into the world of high finance, and he's got some pint-sized wheeler dealers to lead the way.
If Wall Street is the financial capital of the world, then the Sugartown Elementary School in Malvern, PA, just may be the financial capital of Chester County.
General Mills went up how much?
Up 1.5.
Hasbro, what about Astrotech?
These fifth graders are playing the stock market game, a 10-week program organized by Widener University to teach youngsters about business and the economy. The kids are competing with about 850 other teams across the Delaware Valley. Each team starts with an imaginary $100,000, and they can buy and sell up to 6 different stocks a day. The object, just like in real life, is to make a lot of money. Teacher Barbara Master says the kids have a lot of fun, and they learn a lot, too.
They learn math. They learn how to do percentage. We pay a broker's fee of 2%, so they learn how to figure it out. They keep their stocks working in decimals. They do use their calculators, but they use their heads, and they do a lot of thinking.
And you gotta believe the kids take their investments very seriously.
I had to send one boy to the nurse one day. His stock dropped 5 points, and he said, I just don't feel good. I have to go to the nurse.
The kids enter their transactions on computer sheets, so Widener University can keep track of the profits and losses. And I gotta tell you, these kids are making a ton of imaginary money. I asked the Tycoon Tykes for their secrets.
How do you know which stock to buy?
Well, a lot of the times we'll get tips like not to buy oil or drilling companies. Today we just invested in some AT&T. It went up 2 1/8 last night. We buy big stocks like DuPont and East Kodak and Coca-Cola. And then we just buy like 100 shares of it and we wait to see what it does. And if it does good, we buy some more of it.
This is terrific. I'm ready to do some investing. Do you have any hot tips?
As a matter of fact,
Hey, when Eric Holt talks, everybody listens.
I'm Tug McGraw, Channel 6, Action News.
The ABC World News Tonight is next on Channel 6, and Action News continues at 11 when Don Pollock finds out that somebody really is watching him. Now for Dave Roberts, Don Tollison, and the entire Action News team, I'm Jim Gardner. We'll see you at 11.
Move closer to your world, my friend, and you'll see.
From Channel 6, this has been Action News, the most watched news program in the Delaware Valley. When you see news happening, call the Action News tip line by dialing News 6. In New Jersey, dial 966-6666. And in our Trenton Bureau, 396-6666.
If engine knocks keep your car's horsepower caged up, break out with higher octane Texaco Super Unleaded. On steep grades, it gave already powerful turbo cars even more power. Nearly 12% faster acceleration than regular unleaded.